Hello everyone, so in this tutorial we are going to be creating three simple Python projects, and we are going to start with creating a calculator project in Python. So if we are to create a calculator project in Python, what are we going to do first? So we know that we are going to be collecting input from the users, right? So we want to collect the first number. Okay, get the first number. Let's comment it down here. Want to get the first number, right? Then we want to get the operator that the user wants to use. Okay, we can say, okay, get the second number too. Get the second number also. So I want to get the operator which the user wants to use. So we want to get the operator also. And we don't want this calculator to just be one off. We want to be able to like continue asking the user if the user still wants to run another calculation. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just like print out simple calculator here. I just print this out, simple calculator. So we print this out, and now I want to tell the user what to do. So we just want to give the user some instruction of what to do. So I'm just going to say options here, right here. I'm going to write options here. I want to say option 1 is to what? Is to add. So that's like operation of adding. And now I want to have like, okay, option 2 now is to subtract. So I'm telling the user that option 2 now is to subtract. So that's what we're doing is option 2. So I'll just go ahead and remove this letter S here. We don't have S there. So I'll go now to option 3. So on option 3 down we say option 3 is what? Multiply. So option 3 is to multiply, and option 4 is to divide. So these are the 4 operations we are going to be having in this calculator here. And okay, after that now I want to get the choice of the option from the user, and we just like to say inputs. Yeah, I want to ask the user to choose an operation. So just tell the user, okay, choose an operation right here. So right here we're telling the user to choose an operation, and we are just like making these choices of what they want the user to choose. This is 1, 2, 3 or 4. So I want the user to be able to quit this game. So we're going to say or Q also, and we just say or Q to quit the game. So let's put this in a single quotation and double quotation at the end. So to quit the game. Okay, just to quit is not a game, actually it's a calculator, so about using the word game. So now I want to check if this choice is equals to Q. So if choice is equals to Q, what we want to do for this is to like stop this program as a whole. So to do that, we are going to like put this in a loop itself. So we're going to say while true here. So this means that we want this code to always be running whenever the condition is true. So this code is always going to be running forever. So whenever this choice is equals to Q, we want to just tell this out. Okay, you are exiting the calculator. So we take this existing the calculator. I want to break out of this loop. So once we break out of this loop, the program has ended as a whole. So if I should go ahead and run this now, you can see we get simple calculator here and we get options 1 to add, 2 subtract, 3 divide. So if I should enter 1 now, you can see it's still bringing us like that prompt again to choose an operation. But once I enter Q now, it breaks out of the operation itself. So this is how we want the calculator to be, that we are exiting this calculation. So now once we've able to like exit the calculator now. So what if the user enter 1? What are we going to do? So first thing I want to check now is if choice is in, and now instead of us like want to validate this option first, now I want to convert it so that we can know like want to validate the options that the user choose and be able to prompt the user for first number and the second number based on the option. So we want to have a list of possible options here which we want, and that will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, I said ID, I wrote ID, so this is choice. So if choice in this list now, what we want to do here is to try. So we're going to be using try block error here, and what we want to do here is first is to get the first number and we just want to say inputs now, and we want to prompt the user for the first number. Just say enter the first number here. So now we are asking the user to just enter the first number, and again I'll just go ahead and copy this to prompt the user for the second number. So just paste that here and call this number 2, and this will be second number. So we are putting this up for the second number also now, and now we want to have an except here. So we are using this try except block now just to make sure that we are able to undo any error coming from the user. And what is the possible error that can come from here? That's if this number now is getting it as a string, but we need to convert this to float so we can be able to work with some calculation, with some operation with it. So we need to convert this to float. So just like wrap this in float like this. So I'll just go ahead and wrap this in parentheses and put float out there. So we are converting to float now. So if there's an error while trying to convert this input to float, that means either the user enter a special character or a letter. So we want to be able to undo that, and the error that this should will return is value error. So, and what we want to tell the user to do here is to print place. We want to tell the user enter valid, valid numbers. So we just want to tell the user that I want to continue this loop. We don't want to break out of this loop. So if I should run this now, you will see that I should enter F now. Can see, you see, like keep it, you see prompting us here for it. If I need to enter 1 first. So now when I enter 1 now, if I should enter a letter here now, it's telling me that I should enter a valid input, and it went back to prompt me for the operation I want again, enter valid numbers. So this is how it works now. But if I should enter 2 now, it will go ahead and prompt me for the second value, and the second value, if I should enter E instead of a letter, it will see like return same thing. So instead of just like breaking out of this code, we are able to catch that error and undo it well. So now we continue this program, and the next thing we want to do now is to check the kind of choice the user picked, so we can be able to undo this choice. So if choice now is equals to 1, we want to add, right? So we're just going to like print, and we're going to use something called formatted string here. This is just a method of concatenating string together. So we're going to put result here now, and in this result we want to have our number 1 plus number 2, then equals to, we are going to have a function called add, and this add is going to take into parameters called number 1 and number 2. So we are just going to add these two together for this function. So let's go ahead and create this function over here. So I'm just going to call this def add, and we have number 1, number 2. So all we just want to do here is to return number 1 plus number 2. That's all we want this function to do. So this function is just going to return number 1 plus number 2. That's what this function is going to do. So we've done that now. So we're just going to like duplicate this, and let's have it down here. And this is going to be an elif. That's else if option. I want to check if this is 2, and if it's 2, that's subtraction, right? So we are subtracting these 2, and here we are using, is this and not that? And here we are using another function called sub. So let's just go ahead and create all our required functions here. So I just go ahead and copy these and paste it a couple of times. So we call this sub, that's subtraction, and we call this mult, so that's multiplication, right? So we just multiply this, and we call this div, that's division. So now we have that ready, so we're just going to call this sub2. So that's ready. So I'll just go ahead, copy this, and now if this is 3 and this is 4, so if this is 3 now, okay, this is 3, I want to show that we are multiplying this, and I want to call the multiply function. And if this is 4, what do you want to do? We want to divide this, right? I want to like implement, like make this, and that's we are dividing this. So what we're just going to do here now is run this and see. Now it's asking us what do we want to do. So let's say we want to add now. Starting from the first number, we enter 2, second we enter 3. Okay, so I think we have an error somewhere. So let's go through this code and together and see where our error is coming from. So first we check this. Then after we check this now, okay, then we check if this choice is here. Then if it's here, we catch this error if possible error, and we continue this code itself. But from here to see if it's not running this part, it just keep taking us back here. But why are we having that error? Okay, let me run this one more time and see. So we have 2 here. We have two. Okay, now it works quite alright. So I believe Python has not like discovered these changes there, and it's running my previous code before. So we can see now the result is 3 minus 2, and that's equals to 1. So we can decide to go with this operation again, and this time around we want to have 4 and we want to have 3. Okay, and we're going with addition, and now we can see that 4 plus 3 is equals to 7, and you can see it's automatically adding 0 at the back. That's 0.0. That's because we are converting this to float right here, and that's why it's automatically adding those 0 at the back. So we can quit this game now and just like, okay, let me just clear this. So if I should run this again now, just to show you something now, and let's try division. And now what we're trying to do division, let's say now we enter 2 here and we enter 0 here. Now we see that you have an error, right? Because this is a 0 division, right? We are not meant to be able to divide by 0. So we need to be able to undo this error too, because we don't want any of part of our application to bring bug to the user. Because if we are creating this for a user that does not have any knowledge of programming, having this outside is not good at all. This is a bad program. So to undo this now, what we need to do here, we need to check if this num2 right here, if it's equals to 0. If it's equals to 0, and then we need to return. We just need to go ahead and return error. Just say error here, and we say it's division by 0. So that's why we want to undo that. Oh, sorry. This should be in the division section. So let me just cut this out and paste it here. Okay, this should be here. So we are good to go. So now let's try this division by 0 again. Let's see, 4 for division right now, and now I enter 4, enter 0. Now you can see now error, division by 0, right? Whenever we're trying to divide by 0, it's giving us an error, but guess we can divide, we can have 0 as the numerator. That's what quite alright for calculator. So this is all for our first project of building a calculator with Python. So And one more thing we can just do here is to wrap this up in a function and just call this def calculator. So we can just like make our code look neat. So I'm just put all this in the right indentation. So wrap this, and now we just call this function down here calculator. So now you can see our code is still working quite alright. We can run this game and go for subtraction. Now we're even getting negative subtraction, and now we can decide to go for multiplication and just say 7 and 8. So we're getting our answer quite alright. So now we can quit this game. So now for our next project, now we are going to be creating a number guessing game. So I just open here and just like create another file, call this number. Let's call this number guess.py. Okay, this is number guess.py now. So what do we want to have here in number guessing game? So we want to be able to have a number of attempts that we want the user to be able to like have this, be able to guess this program. I want to have like, let's say we want to have some variables here. We want to have a secret no, right? Want to have a secret number that I want to get number like the user to guess for. So let's just put this as 9 for now. Want to have the secret number. I want to be able to like want to have another variable called attempt. So we have to keep track of how many times this user have tried to guess this number, right? So let's just add that variable here, and what we want to print first is welcome to the number guessing game. So now we are welcoming the user to the number guessing game, and okay, we print this now, and just want to tell the user the range of which we want the user to print to get this number. I can say, okay, I'm thinking of a number between. So now I want to give this user a range 1 and 100. Can you guess it? So I want to ask the user to be able to guess this. So now we are going to be using this our while true loop again. And why are we using this while true loop here? So I think I'm using calculator here. So we're using this while true loop here so that we can keep on running this game. And now we want to get the guess from the user itself. So we're going to have this try here. So let me just go ahead and have this except down here too. So now try here, we have a variable called guess. I want to convert this to an integer. So I want to collect this number from the user. I want to say enter your guess right here. So now we're telling the user to enter his guess. Let me just confirm if this is still recording. Okay, that's working quite alright. So once the user enter your guess now. Okay, now once the user enter his guess, what else we want to do? Anytime the user enter the guess, we want to increase the attempt, right? So now we're adding 1 to the attempt every time the user enter a guess. So we want to check how far this guess is, whether this guess is less than the number to guess or is higher than the number to guess. So we're just going to say if guess is less than secret no. Now we have our secret no here. I want to give the user an hint. I want to say, just want to like print out too low, so the user can guess again. Just say too low, and else if now if the number is greater than, I want to tell the user too high. So if the guess is greater than, if the guess is greater than secret number, just to print out too high. So Teresa. Okay, the number you guess is too high. So else, if it's not greater than and it's not less than, that means it is equal to, right? So we don't need to surely check with logic operation whether it's equal to. We can just print out, congratulations, you get the number right? So we just say congratulations, you guessed right. You guess the number. I want to tell the user the numbers of attempts the user gives. You guess the number in, okay, attempts. So here again, we're using a formatted string, so you put your F right here. And now, okay, so we're telling the user numbers of attempts you use to guess this game. And now, once the user gets this number right, we want to break out of the loop itself. So otherwise here, I said we want to handle this value error also. Then we want to print out, please enter a valid number. So just come here and say please enter, okay, let's say please enter a valid number, and we end this. So right now we can just like run this game now. We have our secret numbers of attempts. So you just want to run this game now, and let's see. Okay, now, oh, there's a typo here, thinking-ish. Okay, I'm taking off a number between 1 and 100. Can you guess it? So let me try 3 now. Can see that's too low. So if I should go for 78, that's too high. 45, 454, that's too high. So 21. Can see now that's also too high. But if I should like just like have it as 9, you can see now you get number right in 5 attempts. But one thing here that is making this not to be fun. One thing that is making this number not to be fun is that making this thing not to be fun is that we have to add code this. We have to add code this number 9 into this program. So we can use a module called random here to just generate random number. And how do we generate this random number here? We just like have it here, random.randint, right? We have random.randint right here. I must just generate between 2 different numbers. So we can just say 1 and, okay, let's make it simple now, just 1 and 10. So let's say 1 and 10 right here. So we are generating random here. So we, the programmer self, now don't know the number. So we are really playing the game now for this time around. So let's say 2. 2 is too low. Let me go for 5. And 5 is still too low. 8 now is still too low. So I know it's either 9 or 10. So 9, congratulations, I get the correct number in 4 attempts. So you can see how this game works now. You have this secret number here, and you are able to like, okay, you add these your numbers of attempts here, but you don't have limit to these numbers of attempts, right? So you don't have limit to your numbers of attempts, and you're able to like guess infinite until you get it right number. But let's say we want to limit these numbers of attempts to 5. So you're able to guess this code 5 times, and we are changing this to 20. So how do we go about that? So you can just say like y true here, and we want to go with y attempt is less than 5. So y attempt is less than 5, and here just if the user didn't get it out here, you just want to print out you are out of having. Let's print out you lose the game. So let's try this now. And 1 and 20. Oh, I didn't change this to 20. So So let me just change this to 20 and let's try to lose this game deliberately. So let me run this again and let me just try 1. It's too low. Let me keep trying 1. Oh. So you can see that we are getting infinite loop after we print out this, you lose again. So we just want to break this after we lose the game. So one other thing that is wrong with this code is that we are hard coding every of this value into it. So we should have a variable that will be able to so we can change this variable. I'll be able to use it in our program itself. So you can just have it like a constant here and just call it max range. Let's have it as max range equals to 20, min range equals to 1. Min range equals to 1. Then we have max range. Max range equals to 20. So right here now we use a formatted string. And what we want to do here is just okay, we have max range. Yeah, okay. No, we have min first. Min range here, and we have max range. So we put this in curly braces. So now instead of changing this every time we are doing this, we can just change this instead. And this maximum guess. Okay, and just call this. Let's go retry. Just put 5 there. So you can see our code will still work quite right now. So too low. So let me try 10 now. 10 is still too low. Let me try 15. 15 is too high. So I have to get between 10 and 15 now. Let me try 13. 13 is too high. So it's between 10 and 12. So is that 11 or 12? Let me go for 11. Congratulations, you get the game. Okay, but is he telling me I lose the game after I got this correct? So I'm able to break out of this loop. Okay, I think let's add else here. And let's run this game again and let's try and get it right again. So 10 is too high, 5 is too high, 3 is too low. So it's definitely 4. So I get the game right and congratulations to me. Enter your guess again. So having a bug here. Okay. So this is not actually the best fix here, but it's just a quick fix. And what we just quickly do here is just add this trial. Just set it to something above 5 already. That's 6 and just break out of that. So if I should go again for 10, it's too high, 5 is too low, 7 is too low. So I have 7. Okay, congratulations. And now to enter my guess again. So that's a bug right there. Okay, this should be if instead, not y. This should be if instead. So I think that should work now. Too low, too high. So yeah, it's working quite alright now. So this is how you create your guessing game with Python, and that's how you do it. And now for the last project for today, which is going to be a to-do list application. So how do you create a to-do list application with Python right here? So a to-do list application is just going to be, okay, let's just create an application here and call it to-do lists.py. Okay, as our file to-do list.py. And what do you want to be able to do in this to-do list? You want to be able to add tags to this list. You want to be able to show our tags. I want to be able to what? Delete tags, right? So these are these three basic features of a to-do list, right? So these are the things we want to be able to do in to-do lists. So we are going to have our main function here. I'm going to call it to-do list itself. So this is our main function here, and in this main function we want to have our to-do as a list. Call it our tags as a list. Alright, so we have our tags as a list right here, and why true, we want to just keep on prompting the user for an input, okay, for an operation. So right here we just want to print the options available for the user to pick. So I just say option 1 dot view, say option 1 is view tags, right? Then option 2 is add tags. So if you want to add a tag to your list, option 3 is delete tags. So these are the three options here, and let's just add one more option to exit the program itself. So these are the options we have right here for our to-do list application. So I'm going to get the choice from the user now. I'm going to say input now. Okay, I want to input. Just say choose an option. So now I want to work with this choice and know how we are performing our decision. So if choice right here is equals to 1, we are performing an operation. Else if this choice is equals to 2, we are doing something else. So I'll just go ahead and copy this else if here, paste it here. Then if this is equals to 3, we are doing something else. If this is equals to 4, then else I want to just print out invalid choice. Then instead is have to try again. So try again. So if this choice is equals to 1, which is what? View tags. We want to be able to like view our tags. And how do we do this? We are going to have a function called show tags, and this function is just going to show our tags. So we have it right here and call it show tags here. So I'm going to be giving this parameter, this function a parameter, and this parameter will be our tags, which is this list we have right here. So if not tags now, that means if the tags is not, if there's no value in it, in this tags here, we just want to print out no tags in your to-do list. Then else want to print out your tags. So right here we are going to loop through these tags here, and so we're going to look through it like for tags now. We are going to be using a Python inbuilt function called enumerate, and this enumerate now is going to be returning a tuple for each instance. and this is why we're having these two value. So we're assigning each value of this tuple to this two value here. So we have the tax first and we have the number. So you will see it when we run this program now. So we just print out using a formatted string here. We have this I right here, and we have the tax. So this is the number and this is the tax itself. So this is what show tax will do. So right here under this if statement, all we are just going to do is to call this show tax itself. So we just say show tax and we give it tax, right? So right now if I go ahead and run this, let me just pass this first. So, and when we are quitting the game, all we just want to do is say we just want to print out exiting. It's not my using game, it's not a game. Exiting to-do list app, and we just want to break out of this loop. Let's say break. So I'll just run this now. Okay, I won't call this function down here. So let's just call this to-do list. So if I should run this now, it's asking right 1. So no tax in your to-do list, and now it's prompting us again for what you want to do. 2 is passing because we are not performing any tax. 3 same here. 4 we are exiting the to-do app. So to be able to like view our tax, we need to be able to add tax, right? So how do we add tax to this? So we are going to be using a function to add tax to this. So and to go about that, all we just need to do is to go here. So def add tax. We get the tax as an input, and we just collect, we prompt the user for the tax he or she wants to add to it. Then we just say enter a new tax. So once the user enter this new tax, the next thing we want to do is just the tax list dot append tax. That's all. We just want to print a success message to this user, and we just say F. Then we just call this tax itself added to your to-do list. So that's how we add tax here. Okay, so right in this, when the stress is 2, we want to call this function called add tax. I want to give you this our variable called tax. So when we run this now, and we choose option 2, is asking us for a new tax here now. So I can just say, okay, clean the room. So count add another tax right here, and I can say okay, homework. So let me just view the tax right here, and we can see what the enumerator does here. So we have your tax right here, and it's assigning a number to all of them based on how they are added to the list. So we have 1 as clean the room, 2 as homework, but right now we cannot delete our tax, right? So let's create a function that will help us to delete this tax. So let's exit this program and create the last function here that will help us to delete this tax. So we're just going to say def delete so show tax. So when we are deleting, we first want to show tax to the user, so the user can know the tax he or she is picking. So we want to have tax num right here is equals to int. We just want to say enter the number of the tax to delete. So we're trying this and we are getting this as an integer. So this is an input right here, and we are subtracting 1 from it because we want to use it as an index. We are using the index, and index only starts from 0. So we want to make sure that this tax norm is between 0 and the length of tax. So if it is between 0 and the length of tax, we just want to have another variable called remove tax. I want to have it as tax dot pop